Hey, we've got a drizzly summer day here in Zihuatanejo. So I thought it would be fun to list 10 things that you need to monitor in your Mexican home. I know it sounds really fun, right? So whether you live here full time or only here part of the year, I think this could help you out. If you're here full time, it's a lot easier, obviously, to keep an eye on this stuff. But if you don't live here, definitely should have someone that you trust that can stop by your property and do walkthroughs at least every couple weeks or after big weather events. Number one, outside the property, your cistern. If you aren't home very often or you haven't been home for a while, then it should be full of water. If you aren't using the water and it's empty, then that could be a problem. For us, we have a sensor that we drop in, and then we can just press on the outside of the cistern and see where our water levels are. We rarely drop below 80%, but if we do, we start to monitor a little more, and then probably means it's been maybe 2 or 3 days since we've had water. If we get to that 60% level, then there's probably, or I would say probably, there's definitely some issue going on with the city because even with 6 or 7 people here in Casa, we're not going to go through 40% of our water in a day or two. So it's not a big issue to order a pipa, which is what they call the water trucks, to get those delivered to your house, but it will set you back 600 or 700 pesos. But again, not a huge inconvenience, but uh, it's nice just to have either a sensor or an easy access to your cistern and checking the levels there. Same thing with your gas. We have to refill our propane tank every 4 to 6 weeks. What we have again is we have a sensor at the bottom of our tank because it's not really easy to access either. And just through Bluetooth, I can check what the levels are. And then when we need it, we just order from there's Global Gas and Gas Mundial, and they can refill it. But if you're not here for months at a time, shouldn't be an issue. You shouldn't be using any of your gas again. If your levels are going down, there's a leak. And then if you are here, like I said, we can, what I think our tank holds about 160 liters, and that lasts us 4 to 6 weeks. So that's like 30, 40 liters a week we go through. Same thing with your meters. You're going to want to keep an eye on those. If your casa is empty, then you shouldn't use more than 50 or 100 kilowatt hours over a 2 month billing cycle. That's like maybe a couple hundred pesos. We even unplug some of our appliances if we're not going to be using them for a few weeks or a month at a time. You know, it gives us an opportunity to clean out the freezer also. Okay. Also, outside the pool, of course, you should have someone regularly checking your pool if you're not an expert in that field. And if you don't, within a few days, that thing's going to start changing color and you're going to have a much bigger problem on your hands. And then, of course, when it rains outside, you're going to want to check your roof and your windows for leaks. And also, again, like I said, if you're not in town and there's a storm that comes through, have somebody come over and check your property. And then the last thing outside is bug infestations. We were leaving our house a few weeks ago, and it was a million ants just pouring out of these little holes in the concrete on the side of our house. And of course, that put a quick stop to our fun. I had to get the ladder out and spray inside there with bug killer. And then the next day, we stopped up the holes in the wall. It was really gross. This is number 7, I think. Inside the casa, obviously your sinks and toilets and pretty much anything that can leak, you're going to want to keep an eye on every couple weeks or so. Just make sure. I usually flush the toilets, turn on the sinks and the showers, just make sure everything's functioning all right. The AC units as well shouldn't be an issue if nobody's been using them in a while, but it's just good to let them run occasionally if no one's there. And then if you are using it, you can pop it open and just check. Occasionally I'll have to clean out the filters. And then like every 6 months to a year, I'll have a professional do a thorough cleaning of the, I think it's called the condenser, and then the AC unit on the inside. And that's like 500 to 700 pesos per unit. Okay, number 9 now. Also on the inside, anything with batteries, which is usually your remotes, you're going to want to remove those if you're not going to use them in a while. And then, we're right here on the coast. That salt water, basically, most of these things, it's that salt in the air just kills everything. Okay, and then number 10, the last one on the outside is if you have a vehicle, uh, you may want to unplug the battery, disconnect that if you're not going to be using your car, your scooter, your ATV for a month or so. All right, so there's 10 things that to think about in keeping up with your property here in Mexico, and especially here in Zihuatanejo. And hopefully this helps you with your maintenance and your utilities. All right, thanks for watching. Take care.